Self-inquiry. Who am I for musicians? So you heard about who am I, heard about self-inquiry, and that it's a good path for realization, direct way of seeing your real nature or your original nature, what you already are. But you're practicing it, or you've heard about it, you're not sure what it is all about or how exactly to do it, or you're doing it not having much success. So for musicians, for music lovers and music practitioners, I would highly recommend not only doing sitting self-inquiry meditation, where you sit, meditate, and inquire, who am I, or who is having this experience. Again, I've mentioned in other videos, when you ask who am I, it's not to search for anything. Who am I stops the mind. It sends the mind back to its source. So when you ask who am I, if you're looking and looking, like searching what you're doing is engaging your mind to search for the mind. That doesn't really work. The who am I is the last word of the mind to send itself back to its own source. So that's a quick overview of that. If you're saying who am I, it could, if you have the right perspective, it could end up dropping away all of your identity and your concepts about who you are. But if you're actually looking for something, then you're kind of looking the wrong direction. Another great way of asking is who is having this experience. I worked with that one for a while. Because basically the question should bring you back from being in the mind, which is usually kind of a distracted awareness, feeling of awareness on something, bring you back into the present moment, which you're already in, but you're not really engaged in it. Bring you back to that, and then rest in that deeper and deeper, which is essentially the mind going back to its source. So when you're practicing music, it's a great way. It's a good idea to attempt self-inquiry while you're active, not only when you're meditating. So when you're doing your music practice, if you're a musician, if you find when you're practicing that your mind is present and making unnecessary comment, and or if you're an artist, while you're sketching, painting, whatever it is you're doing, you can inquire, who is having this experience? Who is the one doing this? And the question itself, as soon as that's asked, it should be obvious that the one that's doing it is not the mind. So that's all. And then just continue doing what you're doing. Rest, rest, rest in the awareness. Rest in the peace. That I would say there's no going or coming, there's no forward and backward, but it might feel like that presence comes forward. Right? Because if you're kind of up in a corner here, and then the awareness is being ignored, the fullness of the awareness is being ignored because you're listening to a tiny little voice in the corner. So asking, who am I, or who's having these thoughts, something like that, who's having this experience, what happens is automatically the attention is turned away from that and turned back into the awareness. So you dive into that open fullness of the awareness. And you might find that when you're active, doing something you love especially, that it's a little easier to do. And you might notice in a lot of my videos I'm saying, emphasizing this should be easy, this is easy, that is easy. Many of you might say, what are you talking about? This is the hardest thing ever. There's so many stories, anecdotes about how realization is very difficult. Nobody can attain it. It's the hardest thing ever, stuff like that. And I'm not, again, saying that that's wrong, but it is very much true that it is your real nature. And many great sages have also said this. And if you take the attitude that it's very hard and no one can attain it, and little old me can't attain it, that's again just your mind ruining the show for you, ruining your life. So do not listen to those thoughts or ideas, because every time you attempt, every time you do this inquiry, you're making people are very familiar today with voting. Like when you buy things, every time you buy something, it's like you're voting for that product. I don't know if you've heard about that. So every inquiry you do, it's a vote for truth, So don't give up, keep trying. But more than that, this is just an easy way. Why I'm saying easy again? Because once you've seen something, you won't unsee it, right? So if you have a little breakthrough, and it helps when it's in an easier state, and you're in an easier state of mind, that breakthrough or that opening that you experience will be remembered, you could say, or will be felt. It'll have an imprint on your space of awareness, or you could say your mental space, when you're in a more difficult situation. So if you're in a difficult situation, then you'll remember, wait, this is what I experienced that time when I was practicing my music, or when I was having a concert, or when I was painting or dancing. I experienced that everything was happening by itself. I wasn't the one doing it. It was just happening naturally. So there's nothing to worry about, so on and so forth. And this can help you when things are really difficult. It's a kind of remembering. And then eventually you keep doing that, and you keep remembering that, and then you stabilize. You just become stable in the truth. And then you no longer really need to do anything at that point. And you can just keep practicing music, dance, or whatever it is that you want to do. This is the direct and easy way to be free, be happy. Thank you. Feel free to subscribe to this channel and like it if you like this video. There'll be more to come.